Keiko, we've been waiting for 20 minutes.
I wouldn't say that.
She's just so cute under that box.
EA could actually launch a game that doesn't suck.
You know what this game needs?
Holy
Ponies.
Just like everybody.
Anybody else notice that the protagonist looks a lot like Egoraptor?
This week is gonna be as awesome as Duke Nukem Forever.
Hey folks, what's up? D-Pad here. Bluescreen Bronies episode 43. Coming to you this Sunday evening.
It's even better than the best number ever.
Well, that's yet to be seen.
Well, we've only got one way to go from here, and that's up.
The heck we do.
Anybody got cheat code?
Oh dear God.
Up, up, down, down.
Left, right, BA.
Select start.
I don't think it's select.
It uses select in the multiplayer, doesn't it?
Meh. Yeah, fair
Bite my
point.
glorious golden flank.
So, video games.
Yeah, let's try to get back on topic. So, this is an interesting turn of events. Steam Family Sharing lets users share games with unique saves. What this means is basically you and close friends and family members can share your Steam library across separate computers or on the same computer across different accounts. You all have access to both games in both libraries, but you have independent saves and achievements. The caveat, however, is you can't play the same game at the same time. You're given a brief warning and quote-unquote a few minutes to save or purchase the game before you are kicked off.
I'm calling Xbox on this one.
I actually think this is a great idea, especially for people who play similar types of games. Someone gets a new game, but the other isn't sure of, like, say you get a game and you're like, it doesn't look great, but I might try it, but there's no demo. It gives you an opportunity to essentially demo a game that has no demo.
Yeah. Like my friend and I were going to do is, he hasn't bought Saints Row 4 yet, and I haven't bought Rome Total War 2. We were just going to if this comes out, we get in the beta, we're going to trade them off and see how well it works.
Now, wait a minute. Why can't we go back to the days where we had actual demos for things? Where we got them on CDs that came from our gameplay magazines?
Well, for starters, I don't know how many more people still have CD drives, and two, demos are tricky when you're trying to develop certain games, because, it's an additional cost to make.
This is also better than a demo in that you can just play the entire game. There's no need for getting to a level and then you're like, well, you gotta get out now.
Yeah, how often do you actually get a game, like, say, I've got Breath of Death, 7, beat it? What am I gonna do with it now?
Hawk it?
Oh, wait, Steam.
Ha! That's why they're making games cheaper and cheaper. If you are making a game that you cannot resell, you gotta make it cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
Well, indie games are getting cheaper. AAA's only going up, up, up.
Yeah, they're seeing what they can get away with.
Speaking of indie games, I picked it up. I finally got it. It came out on this September 11th. DuckTales.
Woo!
I wouldn't call that an indie game, but okay.
Aye, indie enough. Get on with it!
So, Sony is reportedly taking on Oculus Rift with the PlayStation 4 VR headset. What this could mean is that, you could experience Gran Turismo, whatever we are, I don't even remember, in its full glory of, being able to look around, get that whole 3D perspective, and probably get viciously motion sick depending on what you're playing.
Or, the best part, you turn your head to look, it's like, ooh, what was that? Turn your head back, just like real driving. Oh, God!
Hello, dividing wall, embrace me.
Now, I'd like to throw back once more. Didn't we try to do this with, Nintendo, with the Virtual Boy?
You ever used an Oculus Rift before?
Oculus Rift is doing it right. It's when you get a big company that tries to do the same thing that it just doesn't work.
If Sony is supposedly supposed to be working with Oculus Rift on their headset, we could look at something that is pretty well done.
But, on the flip side of that, if they're working separately, competition breeds innovation.
True. But it says here that they're borrowing some technology, though. So, it's an indie project. All you need really is a proof of concept and a basic layout, and you can kind of fill in the rest yourself.
Are they borrowing stereoscopic vision? Because didn't they make that back in the 40s? That's not necessarily borrowing. That's just utilizing stuff that has been around for eons and eons and eons and eons.
Maybe decades, but not eons.
Hey, you whippersnapper. Don't get sassy with me.
Can't be sassy. Draco's not here.
Ha! Love you, Draco.
Hey, I can be sassy.
No.
Okay, before this gets out of hand.
Out of hoof. I don't know what these hands you speak of.
Oh, dear lord. Alright, so Minecraft on Xbox apparently is getting some Mass Effect themed DLC. Well, geez, it's not like you could do this for free on computer or anything.
Yeah, that's the big gripe I have with the Minecraft on the consoles. Although, quick little footnote, supposedly PlayStation 4 is going to be getting it as well. And I don't know if they're going to be doing the same thing, but you have to, from what I can gather, you have to pay for all the skin packs on the 360 version, whereas with PC, I can even fire up my Curse client that I use to keep World of Warcraft mods updated and download packs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this now. This DLC, it's gonna have the worst ending ever, and everybody's gonna complain about it.
And there's still no colorblind option.
But yeah, honestly, I do see this coming out to PC by some entrepreneurial modder within the next few months.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is old news too. I mean, the article's dated September 2nd, but I mean...
That's only, like, a week and a half ago.
Gotta be a now. Quick. Anyway, speaking of more DLC...
Oh boy. Well, apparently Saints Row's adding more audio tracks to their very famous dubstep gun. Now you can get it to obnoxiously play polka, death metal, swing, or...
Classical.
Anyone? There you go. So you can have the utmost charm and class when disemboweling somebody with the power of sound.
I think the sound effects are pretty amazing. They're hilarious. The death metal just suits perfectly for this kind of thing. But charging $3 for what amounts to sounds that you'll only use one of, really? It's kind of crummy.
I feel like you can just find a mod and then it'll work.
But that's not really what they're going for with this. You can tell from the commercial they put in there to just the sheer audacity of the content of the DLC that, plain and simple, this is aimed at the idiot with too much money that will buy anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, the VHS commercial was kind of a nice touch, though.
Though, should that come as such a surprise to you, Viral, considering Saints Row 3 and all that DLC? It's no surprise that we're seeing a similar thing in Saints Row 4.
Although I still want Dubstep Gun to play. I like big butts, and I cannot lie if I start blaring it.
Our next topic. Now, everybody, I want you to take your sphincters and clench them, because this is going to be rough.
Oh god, you're making it sound like we're testing something.
We aren't?
Kojima wants MGS5 characters to be, quote, more erotic, to encourage more cosplay.
And to sell figurines, because apparently non-erotic figurines don't sell quite as well, even though I've got a pretty impressive stack of Gundams behind me.
I'd like to weigh in on this topic. I went to Dragon Con recently, and, there was far too much cosplay by people who really shouldn't be cosplaying certain characters.
Cue picture of Snake in his thong.
Ugh. It's... There's too... Now, for one, I enjoy it. I really do. It's just, you really oversaturate the market. I don't need to have it all the time. Let my brain relax.
Yeah, we went to Comic Palooza down in Houston back in May with Final Draft. There were so many Doctor Who cosplays.
Doctor Who?
Exactly. I mean, back even in New York Comic Con, there's always, you've got your good cosplays, your, mediocre cosplays, then your cringe cosplays.
I swear to the good Lord, swear to the good Celestia, if I see another 40-year-old man weighing 300 pounds in a Sailor Moon outfit, I'm going to just lose it!
I don't know whether to cringe or congratulate the guy for having the balls to do that.
Well, right up until you see his balls hanging out of his skirt. On that cherry picture. So, apparently, Rayman Legends owners discover that the Vita version is missing 28 levels. Okay, like, if they were missing 1 or 2 bonus levels, that's understanding. But 28 levels. Who in QA and staff missed this? Like, that's a sizable chunk.
Did they just think they could get away with it?
I don't know why they didn't even put it in the first place. I mean, it's like, it's not that hard.
Okay, no. I think I know what happened. Maybe marketing was thinking, hey, maybe we can leave these out and make it DLC.
Oh my god.
Think about it. That is just wrong. That is wrong. And it will segue into our next topic, but why would you have day one, you're missing things. Oh, here's an update to fix this.
Yep, a free update too, thank god. You know, catching the snide little sons of guns right when they're doing it.
Right as they're doing it. And to require somebody to download a patch which unlocks these things, as you said, grateful that they didn't charge you for it. But then you have Killzone Mercenaries has an 11 gigabyte day one.
Whoa! Not 11 gigabyte, buddy. 1.1. There's a decimal.
Oh, there's a decimal. Okay.
If there's 11 gigabyte download, I think the Vita itself would just melt at that point.
Okay, I read that as 11 gigabyte. Even still, a 1.1 gigabyte. 1.21 gigabytes!
Yeah.
It is quite literally a third of the whole game, originally.
Yeah.
How do you screw that up?
Well, here's what they did. These are, general stability fixes and performance optimizations.
No, not just that.
Okay, what else is in here then?
I have no idea, but it surely can't be 1.1 gigs of just general stability fixes.
Now, do you know how hard it is to optimize for certain programs? Because Mercenary is a big carryover from Killzone 2 and, the PSP version. They kind of used some of the resources in there and modified the game. Now, the code is similar, but the problem is it's not optimized for the Vita quite yet. And they were, if you read down, they were going, supposedly they were going to put those in originally. They got a time constraint, realized they weren't in there, and so now you get a big old day one patch, which is a problem for those people who don't connect their Vita to the internet.
Now, that's a catch-22 of, on one hand, day one patches are absolutely terrible, but on the other, it's better that if they knew about this, they got it right. The day the game launched, they said, hey, here's some stuff to fix it, here you go, instead of waiting like a week, as some, companies do.
Well, here's some surprising news. Microsoft will continue to support the Xbox 360 for another 3 years.
How long did they support the Xbox when the 360 came out?
Oh, they pretty much just dropped it.
No, they didn't. They had it for a year at least.
I don't remember that.
Well, okay. Let's also remember that they had, it was the fans that kept the original.
Oh, the mod community for the original Xbox? Oh,
well, no, I'm talking about the about Halo, where people kept playing it online consistently until they said, "Okay, we're shutting this server down."
Once Halo 3 came out, and then they only recently, within like the last year or so, closed down the Halo 2 servers on PC.
It was like a couple of months ago, if I remember correctly. They what was great about that is they allowed the last players online to keep playing until they logged off. Yeah, if memory serves me correctly, there were actually about 15 people who continued to play for a good couple of days.
I heard it was a month.
No, I don't think it was a month, but it was about 15 people who continued to play for a good couple of days after the actual date, and they just let it through because that was the last memory they were going to get of that game.
Until they make an HD re-release.
Well, continuing with Xbox. Xbox One release date set for November 22nd.
Which is kind of strange because I think the PlayStation 4 is supposed to come out before that.
The only problem is, I think, though, Xbox is...
They're cutting corners.
Yes, they are.
For one reason.
To try to keep up with PlayStation 4. This is what happened last time. They tried to push the Xbox 360 before the PS3. And what happens? We got the red ring.
Now, there are two instances of this cutting corners. One, the external storage will not be ready for launch.
Oh god, no.
Two, they are boosting the CPU.
So God only knows what they're gonna screw up in there.
It's going from 1.6 to like 1.75. Seriously? My laptop from 7 years ago is more powerful than that.
Yeah, what is it, a quad core?
I don't know what it is.
It's just... Microsoft, come on! I want to be your supporter, but you're killing me here, Smalls. You're killing me.
See, the thing is, there's I think it was D-Pad who said they want it out by Christmas. Because if you don't get it out by Christmas, you won't have the hordes of kids going, but Mommy, I want an Xbox One for Christmas.
That's when you slap the kid and tell him to get a job.
Well, the PS4 comes out a solid, week before.
I can wait a week. I honestly could.
But in a week, that's a lot of time for production.
I fully intend on buying an Xbox One.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm probably going to buy one too, but here's the thing. There's a week span between the launch of the PS4 and the Xbox One. In between that date are an absolute clavicade of AAA launch titles that are going to follow suit. Now, who's going to make more money? The console that's already out and able to play the third-party AAA games like Watch Dogs that come out for both consoles right in that date. PS4 is going to make a lot of more money.
What's going to be carrying the Xbox One is its launch titles, the ones that are exclusive. Now, I will say that for what Amazon is doing is I already pre-purchased for the 360 Battlefield 4. What they're offering is the ability to upgrade that game once the Xbox One version comes out for 10 extra bucks. They send you the new version, you send them yours, and you get the new version of the game.
That's actually a pretty good deal.
That's a neat deal to me.
It is a good deal, yeah, but I'm still getting it on PC.
Speaking of PC, I think we need to talk about what actually can make a game run on a console versus a computer. Now, it bothers me that this is the reason why I stick with consoles. I only have to buy the console, and I can continue playing the games for a generation. The system requirements on a console are, by comparison, minimal.
But then again, they also have to cut so many corners and jump through hoops to actually get the game to work.
Exactly. But let's look at the requirements of Battlefield 4.
Okay, let me go through this real quick here. So the minimum, they still support Windows Vista up to the Service Pack 2. You only need a dual-core processor with about, well, if it's an Intel, a dual-core with about 2.4 gigahertz, which is pretty common.
Yep.
The caveat, though, is the 4 gigabytes of RAM. Now, that's not a big stretch, but older systems might be chugging just a little bit, especially if people want to play it on their laptops or older computers. The graphics card is, they recommend for minimum is a Radeon HD, 3000 series, and a GeForce 88 GT, 8800 GT. But really what that equates to is about half a gig of graphics memory.
Essentially, this is all very stock, decent-sized laptop desktop about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah. But the real kicker is the 30 gigabyte, download size.
Now, to be fair, I think World of Warcraft at one point was getting up to that size, but then they optimized it.
Yeah, I'm sure that Battlefield 4 gets some optimization going. And also, if it's that big on a computer, I can only imagine, what you're going to need for console.
But bear in mind, this was the bare minimum to get this game to run. Now, I have my lovely Mac, which, by the way, there's no Mac support.
You mean your space heater?
Mac support? Isn't that an oxymoron?
Just a little bit.
1 million years dungeon!
I'm sorry, I can't hear you from my ivory tower.
Ha, that's clever.
Now, let's look at the recommended. Good criminy! I mean, who has this kind of system right now?
We don't worry about the OS, because let's face it, it will run on Windows 7.
Yes.
Screw this. I have all of these in my laptop. Just saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming soon, the new D-pad T-Cozy.
Don't make me cut you. I'll do it. I'll find you, and I'll cut you.
I will bring a rain of pain and needle and thread on you. Don't test me, man!
So, about them specs? Those specs we're supposed to be talking about and not threatening each other?
I don't know, this is kind of entertaining.
Yeah. Anyway, it only needs 3 gigs of graphics memory. I mean, God, I know that's that's kind of staple for PCs if you're going to build them for games.
I want to play these games.
Well, then buy them on a console.
Well, here's the catch, though, with the console. How, if these are the specs for the PC version, how in the are they going to...
How in the blue blazes are they making it run?
Exactly. What corners are they going to cut?
How much of this game are you going to have to download onto your console? How much of your hard drive are you just going to have to devote to this game for just the texture packs?
How many corn dogs can I roast over my Xbox One?
You know, they're gonna cut so many corners that the game will be circular.
Oh, dear.
Well, it's circular so they can fit it on the DVD.
Blu-ray.
Whatever.
And let's see, how big is your average Blu-ray disc?
30? 80? I don't know.
If it was 80 gigabytes, they'd be a lot more popular for data storage.
I stuck with HD DVD.
Let's see. Oh, HD DVD.
And how'd that turn out for you?
Remember when DVDs were considered a fad?
I still used VHS tapes when the DVD came out.
Oh.
Oh, here we go. Single layer disc can hold 25 gigabytes on a Blu-ray disc, and a double layer can hold about 50.
I shudder for the loading screens.
Oh, dear God.
They're going to require you to download it to your Xbox One so that you don't have to do that.
Well, you still gotta take into account the power requirements. I mean, we're still gonna see loading screen times on the PC version, and that's gonna be all on the hard drive with super power behind it.
I can just put some marshmallows behind my laptop and let them roast while I wait.
The game will load up, and then you know how you get those tips on the loading screens? Tip! You may want to take this time while the loading screen is loading to make some food.
Yeah, if you're gonna use the bathroom, do it now.
Well, while you're in the bathroom, you can listen to the new symphonic that this awesome person is trying to make. It's essentially a Kickstarter. He is trying to he's trying to go the way of John Williams and go back to all these really great video games and turn them into whole symphony. Check the link below, or link to the side, up, down, wherever we have this link, and click on it and go and listen to what he has just for starters. He's trying to raise up to $250,000 to get the games like BioShock, Portal, Tetris, and make them into beautiful symphonics that rival John Williams from the best movies there are.
I definitely think if this current symphonic, the Super Mario World one, is any indication of how well he can perform, I've got high hopes.
You were saying, Varo?
Yeah, the thing I'd really like to see come from all this is games that are coming out in the future. I'd actually like to see more symphonic soundtracks used in the games, and not as a gimmick like, I don't know, some of the more modern military shooters where they have it just for like, we're epic, yada yada yada. A game I can think of that actually did it really well with the symphonic soundtrack. Who here played Dragon Quest VIII?
Apparently no one.
You all
I played
suck.
Dragon Quest 9.
No, we're moving on to the next topic.
Okay, last one. Last topic!
Or we can add an additional topic.
Oh.
Is anybody aware of the new Humble Bundle that came out? The Humble Weekly Sale?
I'm not.
I saw that in my email and then remembered I have no money.
It's $6. It's $6 is the average right now, and you get. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick. It's the Retro Shooters Bundle.
Ooh.
You get games such as Hard Reset,
Ooh, that's a good
System Shock 2, Serious Sam HD: The First and Second Encounters, Shadow Warrior Classic Redux, and Duke Nukem 3D Megaton Edition.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Hey folks, buy this one. You will not regret it.
Just as a heads up, there is also a Humble Bundle, which contains Trine 2, the complete story, Mark of the Ninja, Eats Munchies Beta, which I'm not sure about, Brutal Legend, which is an amazing game.
Fantastic.
And
game.
if you pay over the average, you will get FTL Faster Than Light and Fez, both of which are very well done games. FTL will make you cry. It will. Not because of story or anything, but because of difficulty. And Fez is an amazing done platformer.
Even though Phil Fish kind of threw a hissy fit.
We're used to hissy fits. We're gamers. And we're bronies.
So, on the topic of games, GOG is ruling out Linux support.
No.
And not a single thing was lost.
No, there's plenty of people who are on Linux who would be affected by this.
You know, if they're on Linux, they can go hop on their insert torrents here and pick up a lovely copy of Windows or what have you and be able to play the game. Bluescreen Bronies do not endorse the stealing or torrenting of legally copyrighted video games and or programs. Anyway, folks, see what happens when Draco doesn't come around. He doesn't keep things in proper order.
Draco never keeps things in order anyway.
Yes, but he's a grounding force.
That's because he's a grounded baby dragon.
No, I think it's more the fact that the chaos is all directed at him rather than just spread about.
We here at Bluescreen Bronies love your viewership and listenership. Thank you for joining us for this week.
And remember, keep your eyes open in December when we've got some fun giveaways and fun prizes and all sorts of fun stuff coming up with a big old charity drive.
And maybe a few special guests.
Oh yeah.
This has been Bluescreen Bronies. I'm Screwy.
I'm Crescendo.
I'm D-Pad.
And I'm Viral.
And we'll see you next time.